Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood YouTuber. I'm asking a very important question for all you people that clicked on the video. I'm assuming you've already read this. How many people in here have read or are currently reading Absolute Batman? Because I gotta say, Absolute Batman, no pun intended, is just straight up absolute peak. So Absolute Batman is a comic run by writer Scott Snyder and artist Nick Dracoda, I believe is the last name. I'm going to talk about this series because I absolutely love Batman and I absolutely love what they're doing with this sort of like, I guess, parallel take of this version of the character. And I'm going to do it via volumes. So if you guys are reading the comic via issues and are like, hey, you're not talking about the latest issue, you're not talking about the up-to-date Batman, I am so sorry, but I just like reading stuff via volumes. And sometimes when I do that, or basically not sometimes, every time that I do that, that means that I'm behind and I'm not on the current like issue that is out. But that being said, I just want to put that out there. Also, I may or may not speak on stuff. If you haven't read Absolute Batman Volume 1, The Zoo, then you're going to want to go and read that just in case something slips out. I'm going to try to keep it non-spoiler just for people that maybe are curious about the book and want to hear my opinions on it before reading it. Just letting you know. Also, I may or may not spoil a couple things. I'll do my best. But here we go. So Absolute Batman Volume 1 is a comic book that introduces a brand new version of Batman. Now, this version of Batman is not a version that's something that's we've seen before. Sometimes what they'll do with Batman is they will create a new version, but it's a lot of the stuff that you've already seen. Parents' death, reason to become Batman, yada, yada, yada. It follows a sort of rough blueprint where Absolute Batman takes that blueprint and takes out pieces, keeps the core essence of the character, but puts in different pieces to spice it up and create a brand new version. And in this version, Bruce Wayne's parents, but not parents, but parent, does die, and that is Thomas Wayne, which in this version, Thomas Wayne is not exactly the same Thomas Wayne that we know from previous Batman iterations. It's a completely different character. And yes, Martha Wayne in this is also alive. Not dead, but she is alive. And while that is something that I'm not 100% sure if I think that that's a good decision for the character, it in this surprisingly works. It's not something that takes me out of it. Also, this version of Bruce is way different. It's ground level. He's not a billionaire philanthropist, actually. He's your everyday worker. He's one of us, literally. Literally, this Bruce Wayne is out in the mud. He's out in the GHETTO. The boy is out working. And the interesting thing that actually made me really dig this comic run so far, and you get it early in this comic book, is the Rogues Gallery. The way that they handle the Rogues Gallery in this, I think, lays groundwork for a lot of possibilities. And so far the characters that we see in Volume 1, Black Mask is the main antagonist for this arc, and I gotta say, his design is really striking. Not necessarily what I would have expected, but now we get an idea based on how striking of a design Batman already is, that we're going to get striking visually, like, different versions of the Batman Rogues Gallery. So Batman is grappling with Black Mask throughout this whole arc, throughout this whole volume, and it's actually a conflict that's about class. And it's interesting to see because it puts Batman in a position where he wants to show these people that they just can't push things around and control Gotham the way that they want to control it, because he is out there, because he is Batman, and he is a hero for the people, by the people. And I think that's dope. I think it's awesome. I think it's cool to at least get a much more tactile Batman. Something I don't think I would be saying or thinking, because Batman's already tactile as it is, but I guess in this version, he's much more on the ground, and his it's not, he doesn't have all the complete resources that he has in his normal regular version, because like I said, he's not a playboy philanthropist. He doesn't have all that money that can back him up. He has to come up with different ways. So he has to be techie. He has to actually know the things that he has in his arsenal, because he has to create it. He has to, and they show you in this comic book that this Bruce isn't, just because this is a different Bruce with a different upbringing and a different, yada, yada, yada. This Bruce is still just as, if not smarter, than the Bruce that we're used to. This Bruce Wayne, the fact that he was able to become Batman and still not be a billionaire and not have that backing, shows how intelligent he was. And it actually, they make it a point in the comic to say that, like, this Bruce, if he really wanted to put his mind to it, mind, body, everything, he could just be whatever the hell he wants to be. And he chooses to be the vigilante that we know and love in Batman. And it's interesting because they tease a lot of different things. His friends, they are laying the groundwork for a lot of possible future connections that Bruce has with his friends, and how that's going to interweave with the bigger overarching story. I'm very curious. I'm excited for it. I actually absolutely love the seeds that Scott Snyder is planting for these characters. I really dig the flashbacks. There are flashbacks in this comic book that go back to Bruce's upbringing before he was the Bruce that we know and see in the comic book, and it's really, really well done. The way that they do it, the way that it feels like a film. And that, to me, the best comic books to me are the ones where I read them and I forget that I'm reading a comic book, and I'm so enthralled in it, and it feels like a film. It feels so cinematic. It feels so, like, written tightly that everything just sort of else around me just dissipates, and I'm locked in on the series. And that's what Absolute Batman is for me. I feel like this series just absolutely gripped my attention, and I am all in for everything that Scott Snyder brings in. I was already excited when Scott Snyder decided he wanted to create a new version of Batman, because he created my favorite Batman of modern times with the New 52 Batman, introducing the Court of Owls, following it up, his version of the Joker. All of those, I have all those in my bookshelf. I absolutely am a huge fan of Scott Snyder, and I have all the trust. So when they dropped Absolute Batman, I was for sure locked in, and I'm not disappointed. So far, this first volume was really well executed. I think it ended on one hell of a cliffhanger. I mean, I don't want to specifically say what it is, but I have volume 2. I just got it, and I am so ready to read that volume and see what we got going on, because they got me. After this first arc, I love the way that they set it up, but I love the way that they put the Black Mask there. Also, this Batman's brutal, yo, because I feel like a lot of people think Batman already as a character was brutal. He's like, I think the Arkham games did this Absolute Batman brutality in the video games, and I think that sort of like skewed a lot of people's attention, because depending on whatever version of Batman you get in pop culture, that's the version you latch onto, and that's the version you 100% believe every single Batman is like. And that's not the case. If you read a comic book, Batman's brutal, don't get me wrong, but he's not as brutal as I think people painted a picture of him to be. But this Batman, he don't give a F, bro. Like, legit Arkham game type brutality. Like, it's awesome. It really is. It's awesome. There are some panels in here where I'm just like, oh my goodness, F yeah. Like, I'm like, let's go, Batman. I'm rooting for him, and it's just so dope and so awesome and just hype. That's what it is. It's really a lot of hype, and it's well done. it's well done because you get hype moments, but also like everything else is so well written around it that those hype moments feel well deserved. And so I highly recommend, if you've watched this video thus far and if you heard me yapping about this comic book thus far, if you have not read it, pick up if you can, because it's these days it's hard to pick up the absolute titles. I'm just gonna be straight up, like, I'm still trying to find Absolute Martian Manhunter somewhere. DC, please make more prints of Absolute Martian Manhunter Volume 1 hardcover. Please let your boy have one. But I've loved the absolute titles so far, and I just had to save my thoughts for Batman to tell you guys about it because of how much I love it. It's so dope. It's such a cool take on Batman. He's big, beefy, edgy, brutal. You know what I mean? Like, all these things that you think are going to be corny to put on the character, Scott Snyder makes all the corniness go away. Like, he keeps, like, I guess, you know what I'm saying, from the outside, if you look at a panel, you're like, yeah, that's kind of cheesy, that's kind of corny. But when you read the comic, the writing makes those moments feel hype rather than just corny. It makes you feel, it really does give off manga vibes, and I'm all here for that. And I don't know if Scott Snyder, that's what he was trying to do. He's on his manga kick right now. He's on his Japanese inspired kick. But that's what it feels like. That's what Absolute Batman feels like. I love the paneling that Nick Dracata also does. His art really, I love the style. I really do. I think it fits and lends itself perfectly to Batman in general, but also this version of Batman. And I think his style really gives the atmosphere that this comic run needs. So it's a perfect pairing. Obviously, I'm still a huge fan of the Greg Capullo, Scott Snyder dynamic duo, but this right here is peak, man. It is peak. So do yourself a favor, like I said, pick up Absolute Batman. Whether you want to read an issue, as they come out, whether you want to read the volumes like me as they come out. I don't know how many times I gotta say how much I loved it, and I think it's well worth the read, and I'm excited for Volume 2. And leave a comment down below if you want to hear me talk and yap about Volume 2. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on Absolute Batman Volume 1 and just Absolute Batman in general. Let me know what you think. If you reached the video thus far, subscribe, like, do everything that you usually do with other YouTubers, but actually, like, do it here on the channel. No, all jokes aside, I would really appreciate it. I'm on a 90-day video posting a challenge where I'm going to be posting 90 days nonstop. I don't remember what day this is, but I got a video coming out tomorrow. So if you don't want to miss it, like I said, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I will catch you guys in that next video. Oh, and I know you guys probably thought the video was over, but I just want to let y'all know a little tidbit. Another way, if you do subscribe and want to be joining the community, I have a website, revxart.com, revxart.com. If you want to support your boy, I got merch there. You know what I mean? If anybody wants Absolute Batman merch, maybe I'll make it. Leave a comment down below. Leave a comment on my website. There's a way you can tip me on the bottom of my front page of the website too, if you want to give your boy some dinero. And yeah, this time I'm saying bye for real, okay? I'm being dead serious, okay? I'm being adios.